Lucy stood outside the glass doors of Prime Holdings lidded, her heart pounding in her chest. This was it, her first real chance at rebuilding her life. She adjusted the simple but neat blouse Abigail had lent her and took a deep breath. "For my babies," she whispered, stepping inside. The lobby was grand, polished floors, elegant chandeliers, and well-dressed employees moving with purpose. Lucy felt small in comparison, but she straightened her shoulders. She had come too far to let fear hold her back now. At the reception desk, a woman in a fitted navy blue suit barely looked up. "Yes? I'm here for the assistant position," Lucy said, trying to keep her voice steady. The receptionist finally looked up, her eyes sweeping over Lucy's appearance before nodding toward the elevator. "Third floor, office 3B. Don't waste Mr. Williams' time." Lucy swallowed her nerves and made her way to the third floor. Inside office 3B, a tall, well-groomed man sat behind a massive desk. He had sharp features, cold eyes, and an air of authority. "Lucy Okafor?" he asked, flipping through a file. "Yes, sir," she replied. He glanced up, his gaze unreadable. "You have no work experience." Lucy clenched her fists. "No, sir, but I am a fast learner, and I will work harder than anyone else." He leaned back, studying her. "You were referred by Miss Abigail Thomas," he said. "Yes, sir." There was a long silence before he finally sighed. "Fine. You start tomorrow. Don't be late." Lucy's breath caught. "I got the job?" "Yes, but if you mess up once, you're out." Lucy nodded eagerly. "I won't disappoint you, sir. Thank you so much." As she walked out of the office, she could barely contain her excitement. She had a job, a real job. Now the journey to success had truly begun. The first few months were a struggle. Lucy would wake up at dawn, feed her babies, and prepare them for the day before rushing off to work. By the time she got home, she was drained, but she never complained. She had a goal. Her boss, Mr. Williams, was strict and demanding, but Lucy proved herself. She worked late, took extra assignments, and learned quickly. Soon, her name became known in the company as one of the most hardworking employees. One evening, as she returned home exhausted, Abigail met her at the door with a proud smile. "Lucy, I have a surprise for you." Lucy frowned. "A surprise?" Abigail nodded. "Come with me." She led Lucy into the living room, where her parents sat waiting. In front of them, a woman in a formal suit sat with a file. "This is Mrs. Benson. She's a financial advisor," Abigail explained. Lucy's confusion deepened. "Okay, but why is she here?" Abigail grinned. "Because, Lucy, it's time you start planning for your future. I asked Mrs. Benson to help you open a savings and investment account. You're making good money now. It's time to start thinking long-term." Lucy was speechless. She had been so focused on surviving that she hadn't thought about securing her children's future. Tears welled in her eyes as she turned to Abigail. "I don't know what I did to deserve you." Abigail squeezed her hand. "Just promise me one thing, Lucy." "Anything," Lucy whispered. "Promise me that no matter how successful you become, you will never forget where you came from." Lucy nodded, determination burning in her chest. "I promise." Lucy kept that promise. Her dedication at Prime Holdings paid off, and within a few years, she was promoted to a managerial position. She saved every penny, invested wisely, and eventually started her own business. By the time her triplets turned 13, Lucy was a wealthy woman. She bought a beautiful house and moved her children in. Life was good, but she never expected what would happen next. One day, she decided to visit her parents. As she stepped into their old, crumbling house, memories of pain and rejection flooded her. But when she saw her mother's face, all the anger she thought she had disappeared. Her mother's eyes widened in shock. "Lucy?" Tears streamed down her mother's face as she fell to her knees. "My daughter, my child, please forgive me." Lucy knelt beside her, pulling her into a tight embrace. "I already forgave you, Mama." They sobbed together, years of pain melting away. Her father, who had always been strict, stood at the doorway, his head bowed in shame. "Lucy, we failed you." Lucy shook her head. "No, Papa, you did what you thought was best. I understand now." As they embraced, her mother suddenly hesitated. "Lucy, there's something you should know." Lucy frowned. "What is it, Mama?" Her mother sighed. "For the past 3 years, a man has been coming here, looking for you." Lucy's heart stopped. "A man?" "Yes," her mother said, wiping her tears. "His name is Gabriel." Lucy felt like the ground beneath her had shifted. The same Gabriel who denied her? The same man who called her a prostitute and abandoned her? Her mother continued. "He is married now, but he has no children, His wife has had several miscarriages, and now the doctors say he has no sperm left. Lucy inhaled sharply. Karma. He comes here every few months, her mother said, begging for your forgiveness. Lucy clenched her fists. Gabriel, the man who abandoned her in her darkest moment, was now suffering the same fate he had forced upon her. Was it really fate, or was it justice? And now, after all these years, he wanted forgiveness. Lucy sat in silence, her mind replaying her mother's words over and over again. Gabriel has been coming here for the past 3 years, looking for you. Her heart pounded in her chest. After all these years, after all the suffering he put her through, now he wanted to find her? Why? To say sorry? To ease his guilt? She clenched her fists. He doesn't deserve my forgiveness. Her mother watched her, hesitating before she spoke again. Lucy, I know he hurt you, but maybe you should hear him out. Lucy let out a bitter laugh. Hear him out? Mama, do you remember how I suffered? Do you remember how I begged on the streets with nothing to eat? How I had to sleep outside, pregnant and alone? Her mother lowered her head in shame. I remember, my daughter, and I regret everything. But maybe he regrets his actions too. Lucy shook her head. Regret doesn't change the past. Her father, who had been listening quietly, finally spoke. You are right, Lucy. Regret doesn't erase what he did. But you are no longer the helpless girl he abandoned. You have won, my daughter. You have built a life he can only dream of now. Lucy exhaled deeply. They were right. She wasn't that broken girl anymore. She was successful. She was powerful. She had built something out of nothing. And now, Gabriel was the one suffering. Still, she wasn't ready to see him. Let him keep looking, she said coldly. I have nothing to say to him. Her mother sighed but didn't push further. As Lucy left her parents' house that evening, she couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in her chest. Something told her this wasn't the last she would hear of Gabriel. Gabriel sat in his car, gripping the steering wheel so tightly that his knuckles turned white. For 3 years, he had been trying to find Lucy. He had gone back to her parents' house so many times, hoping to see her, hoping to explain himself. But she was never there. He ran a frustrated hand through his now slightly graying hair. Life had dealt him a cruel hand. When he left Lucy all those years ago, he thought he was being smart. He thought he was avoiding responsibility. That child is not mine. He had said it so confidently back then. Now, those words haunted him. His wife, Amanda, had suffered multiple miscarriages. They had seen countless doctors, tried every possible treatment, but last year they received the final blow. Gabriel was infertile. His world crumbled. Now the same child he rejected was the only child he might ever have. I have to find Lucy, he muttered. I have to make things right. His phone buzzed. It was his friend Tony. Any luck? Tony asked. Gabriel sighed. No, her parents won't tell me anything. Maybe it's time to give up, Gabriel. She's not looking for you. She's rich now. She doesn't need you. Gabriel's jaw tightened. That's exactly why I can't give up. I need to see her. I need to make things right. Tony hesitated. What if she doesn't want to see you? Gabriel closed his eyes. He had thought about that possibility too, but he had to try. I have to see my children, he said firmly. I will do whatever it takes. Lucy sat in her office, going through some business reports when her secretary walked in. Ma'am, there's a man at the reception asking to see you, she said. Lucy barely looked up. Who is it? The secretary hesitated. He says his name is Gabriel. Lucy's pen slipped from her fingers. Her heartbeat thundered in her chest. Gabriel? She repeated, her voice cold. Yes, ma'am. Should I send him away? Lucy took a deep breath. She had spent years preparing herself for this moment. And now, it was here. She straightened her shoulders. Let him in. A few minutes later, the door opened and Gabriel stepped inside. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Gabriel looked older, more tired. His once confident posture was now hesitant, almost nervous. Lucy, on the other hand, was the complete opposite of the girl he once abandoned. She sat at a massive desk, dressed in an expensive power suit, her expression unreadable. Gabriel swallowed hard. Lucy, she raised a hand, cutting him off. Don't. You don't have the right to say my name like that. He sighed, running a hand over his face. I know I have no right to ask for your forgiveness, but please, just let me talk. Lucy leaned back, crossing her arms. Talk? After 16 years? After calling me a prostitute and abandoning me when I needed you the most? Gabriel flinched. I was a fool, Lucy. I was a coward. I know that now, she scoffed. Oh, And what made you realize that? Let me guess. Your wife can't give you a child and now you want to claim the ones you abandoned? Gabriel's face turned red. I deserve that, he admitted. But Lucy, I swear to you, this isn't just about me not having children. I regret everything. I regret leaving you. I regret not being there. I regret all of it. Lucy stared at him, her heart pounding with rage. Regret doesn't erase the past, she said sharply. Do you know how many nights I cried myself to sleep? How I had to beg for food? How I almost died giving birth alone? Gabriel's eyes filled with tears. I am so sorry, Lucy. She let out a bitter laugh. Sorry? Sorry for what? For leaving me? Or for the fact that karma finally caught up with you? Gabriel took a deep breath. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even deserve to see the kids. But I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. And if there's any way at all I can make it up to you, please tell me. Lucy stood up, walking around the desk until she was standing face to face with him. You want to make it up to me? She asked, her voice dangerously calm. Gabriel nodded eagerly. Yes, anything. Lucy smirked. Then disappear. Go back to your life and never come looking for me or my children again. Gabriel's face fell. Lucy, please. I mean it, she interrupted, her eyes cold. You lost the right to be a father the day you called me a whore and threw me away like trash. Gabriel took a shaky breath. I understand. Lucy watched as he turned to leave. But as he reached the door, he turned back one last time. For what it's worth, I am proud of you, Lucy, he said softly. You became everything I was too much of a coward to be. Then he walked out. Lucy stood there, her heart pounding. She had waited years for this moment. So why did she suddenly feel empty? Lucy stood frozen, staring at the door Gabriel had just walked out of. She should feel relieved. She finally told him exactly what he deserved to hear. She should feel victorious. But instead, she felt an unsettling hollowness deep in her chest. Why do I feel this way? She shook her head, pushing the thought aside. He doesn't deserve my forgiveness. He doesn't deserve my children. He doesn't deserve anything from me. Yet, despite telling him to leave, a part of her couldn't shake the image of his broken expression, the regret in his eyes, the pain in his voice. Her phone buzzed, pulling her from her thoughts. It was Abigail. Hey, babe, how's your visit to your parents? Lucy took a deep breath before answering. It was eventful. Abigail's voice sharpened with concern. Eventful how? Lucy hesitated, then sighed. Gabriel found me. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end. What? That bastard? What does he want? To apologize, Lucy muttered. To see the kids. Abigail scoffed. Oh, so now that life has humbled him, he suddenly wants to be a father? Lucy, you don't owe him anything. Don't let that man anywhere near you or the kids. I already told him to stay away, Lucy said firmly. Good. Abigail paused. But how do you feel? Lucy was silent. Abigail sighed. Lucy, talk to me. I don't know, she admitted. I thought I would feel satisfied shutting him down, but instead, I just feel. Conflicted? Yeah, Abigail sighed again. It's normal, Lucy. He was your first love. He was the father of your children. Even after everything he did, a part of you will always wonder if things could have been different. But don't forget, this is the same man who left you to suffer. Don't let his crocodile tears confuse you. Lucy nodded, even though Abigail couldn't see her. You're right, I won't let him back in. But even as she said it, deep inside, she knew this wasn't the end. That evening, as Lucy sat at the dining table with her triplets, Daniel, David, and Danielle, she found herself studying them closely. At 21, they were no longer children, but grown adults. Strong, intelligent, and successful in their own right. Each of them had inherited something from Gabriel. The same sharp jawline, the same piercing eyes. They deserved to know the truth. She took a deep breath. Kids, there's something we need to talk about. David, the most outspoken of the three, raised a brow. You sound serious, Mom. What's up? Lucy hesitated, then said the words she had never thought she would say out loud. Your father came looking for me today. The room fell silent. Danielle was the first to speak. Our father? She repeated slowly, as if the words didn't make sense. Gabriel? Daniel asked, his expression darkening. Lucy nodded. Yes, he wanted to apologize, and he wanted to see you. David let out a bitter laugh. Oh, so now that his life is miserable, he suddenly remembers he has children? Danielle's eyes were filled with emotions, confusion, hurt, curiosity. What did you tell him? I told him to stay away, Lucy said firmly. Daniel crossed his arms. Good, that man was never a father to us. He doesn't deserve to be in our lives now. David nodded. Exactly. We don't need him. Danielle, however, remained silent, her expression unreadable. Lucy noticed. Danielle? Danielle looked down at her plate, her voice quiet. I don't know how to feel about this. David frowned. What do you mean? The man abandoned us, Danielle. There's nothing to feel except anger. Danielle shook her head. I'm not saying I forgive him. I want to understand why he did it. I want to know if he truly regrets it. Daniel scoffed. Why does it matter? His regret doesn't change anything. Maybe not, Danielle admitted. But aren't you the least bit curious? We've never met him. We don't know anything about him except what Mom told us. Lucy felt her chest tighten. Danielle, I don't want you to get hurt. Danielle looked at her mother, her eyes soft. I know, Mom, and I respect your decision to keep him out of your life. But I think I need to hear his side of the story. David shook his head. You're making a mistake, Danielle. Danielle sighed. Maybe, but it's a mistake I need to make for myself. Lucy looked at her daughter, torn between protecting her and respecting her choice. Finally, she sighed. All right, if that's what you want, I won't stop you. Danielle nodded. Thank you, Mom. David and Daniel exchanged a look but said nothing. Lucy knew this wasn't over. This was only the beginning. The next morning, Danielle made a decision that shocked everyone. She called Gabriel. When he answered the phone, his voice was filled with disbelief. Danielle? Yes, she said, her tone steady. We need to talk. Gabriel's breath hitched. Of course. Where can we meet? Danielle hesitated. A cafe, nothing personal. Anything you want, Gabriel said quickly. A few hours later, they met at a quiet cafe. Gabriel's hands trembled as he watched Danielle walk in. She was beautiful, confident, strong. She's my daughter. Danielle sat across from him, her expression unreadable. Let's get one thing straight. I'm not here because I want a relationship with you. I'm here because I want answers. Gabriel nodded. I understand. Danielle took a deep breath. Why did you leave my mother? Gabriel swallowed hard. Because I was a fool. I was scared. I thought denying responsibility would make my life easier. Danielle's eyes darkened. And did it? Gabriel let out a bitter chuckle. No, it ruined me. My wife and I can't have children, and now the only children I have don't want me. Danielle studied him. Do you actually regret what you did? Or do you just regret that karma caught up with you? Gabriel flinched. I regret it all, Danielle. Every single thing. She was silent for a moment before asking, Do you expect us to forgive you? Gabriel sighed. I can't expect anything. I can only hope. Danielle nodded slowly. I'll think about what you said, but don't get your hopes up. Gabriel gave a sad smile. That's more than I deserve. Danielle stood up. Goodbye, Gabriel. As she walked away, Gabriel felt tears sting his eyes. For the first time in years, he had spoken to one of his children. But would it be the last?